Hey guys, today I want to go over what to do with your succulents when you first bring them home or when you first get them for plant mail. So we have a few different stages going on here, a few different things. Now, sometimes when you order succulents, you'll get either leaves or little cuttings like these little guys. So we have a few different kinds that I just potted up. Sometimes you won't have roots, sometimes you will have roots. So this little guy had roots. I just potted this up, and these are little leaves we propagated from these little guys, just like we're doing here. So if you're receiving a cutting with roots or without roots, you want to lay it on some dry soil. Don't water for about a week or so until you start seeing roots pop out. And in about a week, just like this little cutting, we did the same thing. Planted it up after that end cloused. We cut it, actually. This was a stretched one. And you can see those roots starting. So we know we are good to go with water in a few days. Now, don't pull your succulent out to check the roots after the week. Usually, in about a week or two, you know that that's pretty good, that they're going to have a little bit of a root system on them at least, and you're good enough to water a little bit. Now, I usually put my cuttings in a little container like this to start off with, because they just develop a root system a lot better when they get planted individually as a cutting before they have roots. So them roots can develop nice and big. Now, if you have a succulent with roots, so we'll pop this guy out. This guy, actually, let's finish him. So when you get your succulent home, you pot them up. You're going to leave them in indirect sunlight. So I'm going to show you where I put my succulents. Okay, so all my succulents that are pretty much acclimating, I put them on this table, which gets a nice indirect bright light. We are really cloudy today because it's been raining, but I usually put them on the counter. Now, your succulent probably hasn't been in enough sun for the past couple of days because either it got chipped or, you're bringing it home from the store. It might have been growing inside, not enough sun. So you don't want to go put this little baby out in full sun yet because it's going to burn it. So what you want to do is put them on your little table. This table right here sits out on my lanai. Let me just get that right there. Right there. I pulled it back last night because we had a lot of rain and I have to clean up. But usually I put them on the counter when I first pot them up for the first 2 hours in direct sun, like an indirect sun coming off of these bear paws right here. That would be fine. And then I take them out of the sun after the 2 hours, put them back in the shade, indirect sunlight, not shade, but indirect sunlight for the next 4 hours, and then just increase that 2 hours each day until you reach the right amount of time you want. So all these really sit in, they really like a good 8 hours, guys, to be honest, in the winter. Because in the winter, the sun's not as strong, so you're going to have to give them a little bit more sun than you would in the summertime. In the summer, if I gave these 8 hours, 10 hours, they'd probably burn to nothing here in Florida. But just remember to acclimate them slowly to the sun, to the amount you want them to. Just increase or decrease that amount each day. And then I'm going to take you on over to the table again and kind of show you what to do with these cuttings that you get that come in the mail with roots on them. Okay guys, so we're back over at my dirty workstation. I have so many projects going on today, trying to get my garden planted up, these succulents planted up, and just video shot, house chores done. So what you want to do is just take some dry succulent soil, push that little guy in there with the roots, tuck him in, center him a little bit, make sure he's nice and even, and that's it. Leave him alone with them roots on there for a good few days. After like 3 days of planting this little guy, you know that he's gonna be all right to give a little bit of water. I don't really water much in the winter because these guys really are dormant and they don't need much water. They're not growing much right now, and they have plenty reserved inside of them. These little babies are going to need a little more water than these bigger ones. So just watch that, and water maybe once every week to 2 weeks for these little guys, once every 3 weeks. So once you get a nice established root system on your big ones, then you can back off on that watering more. The bigger the succulent is, the less water it's going to need. Okay, so say you ordered some leaves in the mail now. We got our nice leaf, or you're propagating your leaf. You want to let that end clouse on the counter. Usually by the time you get these little guys in the mail, it is the right amount of time that it takes to scab. So I leave these on the counter, sitting right here, as you can see, until they start growing babies, which a lot of them are, and they have to be planted up today. So there's two different types of succulents. Well, there's many different types of succulents, but there's two different types that I have that are two different ways to propagate. So these are little kalanchoes. And these kalanchoes, instead of growing a baby off of the end, like what a succulent would do, which grows right out of that tip right there, it grows off the little leaf nodes, all these little leaf pinchy things that are on there. You can see all them little babies growing. So what you want to do with these little leaves, whether you get these or these little guys with the babies and the roots starting, you want to put them on your little tray, a dry tray. So let's go over here. Nope, that's not dry. Alright, so these are wet. That's my propagation tray, and this is dry here. So I'll show you how to set these on the soil. Right side up, you don't want them flipped upside down, because then that baby is going to end up growing underneath the soil and trying to focus up and grow up and stretch. So make sure all your leaves are facing the same way. Right side up, and it's the way you pluck them off the succulent. So this little kalanchoe leaf came off of these. We had a cutting that we took. You can see we took this cutting off of the top of here. She's growing 2 branches out of the tops, and this is already rooting. So we're good to go for this kalanchoe. These root like crazy. You really don't have to worry about these too much. And for their leaves, you just want to lay them on the soil the exact same way, right side up. And eventually these will start growing little babies, and they'll get big to where you can pull this leaf right out of that spot. This leaf will curl up to hardly nothing, and then you'll have these little succulent babies to come. Spray your little leaves like once every 3 days or so. Your little trays are going to need a little more water than these other succulents that are a little bit bigger. You know, your little babies that are just starting to come off the leaf and grow and get big. So these I don't water once every 3 days anymore. I water them maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks, if that, in the winter time. Once a week in the summertime, I was watering them, and that's it. The bigger the leaf your succulent is, the less water it's going to need. So just do the type of research on the type of succulent you have. This is another type of kalanchoe, but this is a bear paw, Kalanchoe tomentosa, and this is actually winter growing. Summer dormant, so it sleeps in the summer, and then it grows in the winter. Unlike all of my other succulents, they sleep in the winter and grow in the summer. So you just have to know what you grow, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this helps you to propagate your succulents and acclimate them correctly when you bring them home, or if you're getting plant mail. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to share this video with your friends on social media. Get the word out so we can have some fun and grow some succulents together. Bye-bye.